remember being in Jacksonville my second year in 2007. I want to say right before week 1, they cut Byron Leftwich, our starting quarterback.
You see.
And I was like, ooh.
There's a sword out there.
I was like, what was going on? There was no loyalty. So from that point on, I knew, listen, okay, no matter who I am, who you are, it doesn't matter. Starting quarterback, backup guy, if you're not producing, they're going to get rid of you.
It's just the nature of the game. We can't play forever. But organizations always have to think about, how to move on from that franchise player that you've had a decade or so. It's just a tough situation, and we know as players, it's not personal. They just have to do what they have to do. So when I sign a contract somewhere else, you should not be mad at me just the same.
At the end of the day, I'm loyal to my family and making sure that I give my kids the best opportunity to be better than what I was.
These teams do what they want. They trade you when they want. They underpay you when they want. They do all this. These teams hire these guys that never played basketball to scout players and to run their organizations, and they wonder why they're sorry, wonder why they don't have the players to compete, because the people you have picking your players, the people you have watching your players. I feel sorry for DeMar DeRozan, but I understand because these teams been doing it to players for years. You know what I'm saying?
The most important elements to achieving a healthy, fruitful relationship are trust, sacrifice, and loyalty. However, like anything, relationships are not easy. And in this modern day and age, those character traits are very rare to find. According to Psychology Today, 4 of the 10 reasons relationships are doomed to fail are a product of lack of communication, monetary differences, unrealistic expectations, and trust issues. In sports, fans and the media have these unrealistic, emotion-based expectations that they set for both athletes and franchises. And when you analyze the relationship dynamic between athletes and the organizations they play for, there is a clear lack of communication, lack of transparency, and lack of honesty. The reality is, folks, pro sports is a business, and the main goal of any business is to generate revenue. So why is it that loyalty is held in such high regard when it pertains to professional sports?
Fans will be so in love with a player, but if he goes to another team, they boo him. This is the same human being in a different shirt. They hate him now. Boo! Different shirt! Boo!
When we look at athletes today, they are bigger, faster, stronger, and more business-oriented than ever before. And one of the greatest things to happen to modern-day athletes occurred on July 8, 2010.
LeBron, what's your decision?
In this fall, man, it's very tough. In this fall, I'm going to take my talents to South Beach and join the Miami Heat.
Miami Heat. That was the conclusion you woke up with this morning?
That was the conclusion I woke up with this morning.
Remember how things were back then? Remember how fans and the media portrayed LeBron as being soft, being selfish, and being greedy? He went from being Cleveland's savior to a Cleveland traitor, all because he decided to change what team he was going to play for. So let me get this straight. Anyone can decide where they want to work and who they want to work with, but when it comes to athletes, it's like an act of treason. What LeBron did was expose fans, expose the media for how they truly feel. So when it comes to athletes, folks, I don't feel as if they owe sports fans, owe sports teams, or owe the media anything, especially not loyalty, because they'll love you one day.
Sean Lewis playing off the ball. Lewis gets it to LeBron for 3 for the win. Yes! LeBron James at the buzzer as the Cavaliers have pulled it out to tie the series, and what a miraculous shot by James!
But then, if you do or say anything that they disagree with, you're labeled an enemy.
What should I do?
What should you do?
Is it even a question?
Loyalty.
What about family?
Just selfish.
You would leave us?
You're a quitter.
What happened to family?
Bagged out.
Maybe I should just disappear.
It's always what have you done for me lately, and a team will tell you that a certain player is not tradable, but we used to always say that anybody can be traded for anybody. Because if you take the best player in the league and trade him for two of the best players in the league, the other team is going to say, we'll take the two over just the one. So it's easy and it sounds good to say for teams or organizations, but they'll trade anybody if a good deal is put on the table. You can't, any GM, they think about the PR behind it, but at the end of the day, they're going to say, well, this is going to make our team good for a long run, and we possibly can win a championship this year. So saying loyalty to a person is not relevant, because we as players, the best we're going to do is a 15-year career, in some cases 20-year career, and the organization has to think about long-term where they can go from you.
When you examine the role of management in sports, the ultimate goal is to build a championship contender either immediately or sometime in the future. But during the construction process, though, teams are faced with difficult roster decisions that they have to deal with. Take, for example, in 2013, the LA Lakers signed injury-prone 35-year-old Kobe Bryant to a 2-year, $48 million extension. That decision would have a negative ripple effect on the Lakers' salary cap, their free agent signings, and where they were finishing in the standings, as one of the worst teams in the NBA. Conversely, though, their rivals, the Boston Celtics, that same year traded away Jason Terry, Kevin Garnett, and the face of their franchise, the truth himself, Paul Pierce, to the Brooklyn Nets. The aftermath of that trade has resulted in the Celtics going to the playoffs 4 straight years in a row, going to the Eastern Conference Finals twice, and now they're ready to compete for championships. Not just right now, but potentially for the next decade or so. One team was loyal to their star and suffered for it. The other team made smart, calculated decisions to build a strong all-around team.
I guess what you was doing, I was like business fight. Wasn't personal.
My brother, it's always business. Never personal.
Loyalty only works when there is trust and sacrifice on both sides. But when the employee and employer have different agendas, neither side is going to be loyal to the other. Which is perfectly fine, because at the end of the day, this is the entertainment business. And in the business world, it's ruthless, cutthroat, and ice cold. Just remember, when it comes to loyalty in sports,
There's no loyalty in sports. It's not about loyalty. It's about a business.